Really?
Hello, Dave. It's nice to see you again.
Good evening.
So I don't remember last time we were talking about last time we went through the first level of imaginary exposure. We kind of led you through what it would be like to go to the airport because, as you remember, we were talking about your fear of flying. So we led you through the going to the airport, which you said was the lowest kind of level on your hierarchy of fear. Your hierarchy, as we were talking about, was on the highest level was going to the airport, then it was cruising in the airplane, then it was takeoffs and landings, and then it was turbulence. So we already did going to the airport, so now we're going to do cruising today. How do you feel about that coming here today?
I'm a little nervous, but I think it'll be okay.
It'll be okay. All right. Any concerns you have at this point?
No, not really.
Okay. And do I have your consent to proceed?
Yes.
Okay. So we went over the hierarchy. Okay, so we're gonna start. We're gonna go into cruising. So remember, like last time, we're gonna use those SUDs. Okay, where you're gonna give me a rating on between 0 and 10 on how you're feeling at different points during the exposure.
Okay.
I might ask you what you're thinking, what you're feeling, okay, and then you just tell me, and then we might use coping mechanisms if we think that your SUDS level is too high. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, I want you to imagine that you're sitting in your seat on the airplane. It's just cruising along. You're just sitting there looking straight ahead. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. I'm not really nervous. I'd say maybe about a 2.
Maybe about a 2?
About a 2. No.
Okay, it's not too
I'm
bad.
very nervous.
Okay, now I want you to imagine you turning your head and you're looking out the window. When you look out the window, you see clouds and just open sky.
Okay, I don't like that as much. That makes me nervous. I don't like the being that high up. So I'd say maybe about a 4 now.
You're at a 4? Okay. Now I want you to imagine that you can feel the plane slowly descending, ever so slightly. How are you feeling?
Maybe up to a 5 or a 6.
5 or 6?
I don't really like.
What are you thinking to yourself when you feel the plane kind of descend a little bit?
I don't like. I get nervous. I wonder why we're descending and if we're supposed to be descending, and if there's anything wrong or stuff like that.
Is there anything we can do to decrease your anxiety at that point?
Well, I remember we talked about last time about imagining that it's an elevator, and I feel better if I think about an elevator, because elevators are fine. I don't have a problem with elevators. So if I just close my eyes and think that it's an elevator, I feel a little better.
Okay. When you think that it's an elevator, what's your rating on the scale?
I'm down to about down to maybe like a 3, maybe a 2.
Okay, that's good. Okay. So now I want you to imagine that the plane is starting to turn a little bit. You can feel yourself shifting in your seat ever so slightly. How does that make you feel?
I don't like it. I'm really nervous. I feel like I'm going to tilt sideways and fall to the other end of the plane. I don't like that sensation.
What's your number on the scale?
We're about I'd say about an 8.
Oh wow.
So very high.
Is there anything we can do to maybe bring you down?
Well, I always whenever I have to fly, I always keep a book on me. So maybe I could read and kind of try to distract myself from the plane and what's going on. So maybe focus on a book, or maybe listen to music or something to keep my mind occupied.
And then how do you think you're on the scale you feel after you read a book? Do you focus on the book, or you distract yourself with music?
If I'm distracted with something else, maybe maybe a 4. I can still feel the plane turning, so I'm pretty nervous. I don't like. It's hard to ignore, but if I have something kind of keeping my mind occupied, it's tolerable.
Okay. That's good. Okay. So we can stop there.
Okay.
So how do you feel right now after going through that?
A little stressed out. I don't like thinking about that stuff. It makes me really uncomfortable. Kind of puts me on edge. Makes me a little jumpy, jittery.
How do you feel knowing now that you have some coping strategies, though?
I like the coping strategy. I thought the elevator especially was a very good idea. And then if I can just put my mind on something else, I feel better too. I don't think I'm ready to actually do much flying, but I feel better thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. You're one step closer to like possibly flying,
Mm-hmm.
although we're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How would you feel about maybe doing that at home as homework? Going through, kind of imagining what we just imagined today. Maybe writing down some of your like SUD scores.
Okay.
Practicing the coping strategies. How would you feel about that?
I could probably do that.
You'd probably do that.
Do you want me to do what we did today, or do you want me to do going to the airport?
You could start out with going to the airport,
Okay.
and then if you feel comfortable, you can go on to cruising in an airplane. Okay.
Okay.
I think this was a good session.
I think it was too. Okay, I can't keep a straight face
I think that
anymore.
was really good, though, actually.